Welcome to episode 23 of the Career Breakthrough series. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen now to stay up to date with the amazing new episodes that keep coming to you weekly. So I just wanted to introduce today's guest. Today's guest is Andria Schultz. Andria is the CEO and founder of Network Smart, which is her own business where she interviews celebrities, executives and professionals behind the scenes and teaches millennials how to get into the entertainment industry. She has also worked for the following TV shows: Your Family Matters, America's Funniest Home Videos, The Real Daytime, and also Disney's channel, Bizaardvark. Being a woman in the entertainment industry has been one of the most challenging adventures she's ever encountered, but has made her who she is today. Andria's real goal is to inspire people of all ages to go for their dreams and not be afraid of rejection. She is also the co-author of #1 Amazon best-selling book, Passionistas, Tales, Tips and Tweetables, which has also been featured on the Huffington Post. And she was recently interviewed as the Women of Influence on the Women of Influence podcast with Erica Dela Cruz and WeRule.com. I can't wait to share this interview with you guys. It's got some amazing insights and tips to help you break into the entertainment industry, and also some amazing advice that Andria shared from her own learnings and experiences. So let's not delay any longer. Let's get started on the interview. Guys, welcome to episode 23 of the Career Breakthrough series. I'm your host, Paul Ames. On the show today, we've got a super inspiring guest, and I'm so honoured to have her on here. I'll introduce to you Andria Schultz. Andria is the CEO of Network Smart, which interviews celebrities, executives and professionals, and really helps millennials to get into the entertainment industry and helps them break through some of those blocks that people really struggle with. Andria has also been featured on many TV shows like America's Funniest Home Videos, Your Family Matters, and Disney's Bizaardvark. Andria, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. It's an absolute honour to have you on. If you could just give my audience a bit of a background into basically who you are and what your upbringing was like for you growing up.
Oh, yeah, totally. No, thank you so much for having me on the show, too. I'm so thrilled to be on it. So to give a little background about myself, right now I'm currently teaching millennials how to get into the entertainment industry. You said it perfectly. And a little bit about my upbringing. Oh, gosh. Okay, well, I grew up in a small town in San Diego, which is pretty awesome. And I was around 8 years old when I proclaimed exactly who I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. And that was the next CEO of Disney.
Awesome.
And you can imagine a lot of people looked at me and laughed, but I was a determined child pretty much. And,
I love it.
And that kind of ended up taking me to the next step, which was looking out for a mentor, which is super important. I always tell all my students that you have to find mentors if you want to pursue any career that you want to get into, not just the entertainment industry. And I learned this at a very young age. I was 10 years old when I found my very first mentor. Her name was Constance Ramos from Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was really, really sweet, and I remember going up to her. I'm 10, mind you, so I want to be the next CEO of Disney. And then she kind of just looked at me and she's like, honey, you are so young. Come back to me when you're really serious about the film industry. So as any little girl would do, they probably would walk away and be like, okay, well, that sucks. But for me, I always took rejection as, oh, well, it's no right now, but it doesn't mean no forever. So I actually went up to her 2 years later and I told her the same exact thing. And guess what? She said yes to helping me, and she became one of my mentors.
Wow.
So that's kind of how that was kind of my upbringing. Like I got that a lot from my mom and dad because they were very persistent. And I think I got my persistence from them, and that's what's carried me into where I am today.
Wow, that's amazing. And I love the determination and persistence from being a 10-year-old. That's incredible. As you said, I think so many people would just, and still do today, like so many people, even as adults, even just get crushed by people saying no or rejecting them. But yeah, hats off to you. That's amazing, Andria.
Oh, Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. No, it's been fun. It's really great. Life's a good journey, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It sure is. But Andrea, I'd love to know, obviously you're quite focused around the entertainment industry, but I'd love to know from any previous careers you've done, what are some of the biggest takeaways that you've gained from them, or biggest learnings that you've gained from those previous careers, or even your current career you're in?
I would have to say one of the biggest takeaways that I've gotten from every single career or job, you could say, don't be afraid of rejection, because that happens quite often. Like in anything that you do, like you're gonna get rejection no matter what.
For sure.
And I think that was the biggest takeaway, because I owned my own television show at one point. I was 21 years old. It was called Your Family Matters. It was on every single morning on Fox News as a segment.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I remember things were going super smooth. And, you know, sometimes we'd come around a stump and we wouldn't be able to create exactly what we wanted to create. But just because, you know, things weren't going the way that I expected it to, didn't mean that there wasn't another way that we can open the door for ourselves. So that's one thing that I've taken with me throughout my entire journey in my career. And also one other valuable thing too that someone told me when I was 16 was Carlos Hernandez. He was a Dodger player from the 90s, and he actually overheard me talking about this with my mom over lunch, and he came up to me and goes, "Honey, you're always going to have ups and downs in your life, but it's a matter of whether or not you allow those downs to bring you down or you let those downs bring you up."
Wow, I love that. Guys, go back and have a listen. That's great. That's really good advice. Something so simple, but so effective and really powerful if you really listen to the message within it. So,
and if you take that with you throughout your career, you know, your life, you're going to succeed no matter what.
Exactly. So just to touch on that, Andrea, so obviously we were talking about, you know, how resilient and determined you are to push through failures or setbacks in your career. So what would be some of the toughest mental roadblocks or obstacles that you've had to work through, and how do you feel that you successfully worked through them?
Oh, wow. That's a tough question. I've actually never been asked this question before.
That's good.
No, it's great. I love challenges. I think one of the most important mental breakthroughs for me was that I realized that even though I had, I had this dream of becoming the next CEO of Disney, I knew that I wasn't fully going to be happy with myself because I wasn't fully putting my full passion into that. And I knew it wouldn't satisfy me by the end of the day. So I think one of the mental roadblocks that I had was, am I truly passionate about this? And I had to find ways to figure out, how can I recenter myself and focus on who I am as an individual and what value do I bring to other people? And so that was when I took time for myself and I started meditating and finding time alone to just really center myself again. And that was when I realized, okay, I need to go out there and actually utilize the tools that I've acquired throughout these last couple of years. And I'm good at talking with people. I'm good at helping them find their jobs, in the entertainment industry. And, if I can help them get to their end goal, that makes me feel good.
Definitely.
So that answers your question.
That's awesome. I love that. And I can totally relate. I was just thinking as you were saying that, that's exactly what I've done. And even though it took me 30 years to find what I really love doing, which is my career counseling and helping people with their careers, it's, once you find that, you just thrive on helping people. Like it just lights you up inside. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, I can totally relate to what you do. It's incredible, and keep up the amazing work.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's the best feeling in the world when you know that you're bringing value to someone else and that they're actually taking what you're saying and applying it.
Definitely. Exactly. So, Andrea, I'd love to find out a little bit more about your current business that you've got now. What are some of the biggest things that you're looking forward to going forward in your business, and what excites you the most about it?
I think what's been exciting me the most about my business is the fact that I have students that are actually working with me right now, and I'm helping them find their dream jobs. But it's not just that. It's actually helping them figure out what they're passionate about, because that's something super important in anything that you do,
Exactly.
whether you are going into entertainment or not. You have to know what it is that you're passionate about, because if you don't know how to market yourself out there, people will not take you seriously. So that's what I focus on with my students, is I really focus in on that passion, finding it, so that way they can find the right mentors and build the right network so they can get that end goal. So that's what I've been working on with my students, and teaching them how to articulate correctly, how to approach, how you need to appear. It's all little things that add up. It's like Warren Buffett said, it's like kind of like, the mindset of having, you keep all the pennies. The pennies are the most important. It's not the dollar that's important. It's the pennies. And what he really means by that is, it's the little things that count.
Definitely.
So
true. And I think that's such a big thing that so many people just are lacking, is they really can't sell themselves or market themselves. Like a lot of people, I come across it quite regularly with clients as well, where, a lot of people have these amazing skills and abilities, and it's almost like they're locked in a cage. They don't know how to really express them to the world and really sell themselves to put themselves in the best light going forward. So yeah, as I said, I can relate to a lot of the stuff you do, and I think it's so inspiring to help other people with, especially their career in the entertainment industry. That's great.
It's true. And I mean, like you said, it's all about knowing how to go around talking to people too. It's networking. Like if you don't have a good network, you don't really have your career set in stone, because those people are going to be the ones that are going to help you, and they're going to support you throughout your entire career. So it's so important that you have those mentors, that have helped build that network for you.
Exactly.
And so that's exactly what I've done my entire life. So that's what I'm teaching my students how to do.
So true. That's incredible. So Andrea, I'd love to find out a little bit more about, obviously with your past TV show, and I know that you interview celebrities and high-level executives and things like that. So what would be some of the biggest things that you've learned from these people, and what were some of the biggest highlights out of these previous careers or previous TV network that you had, or the TV show that you had?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy that you asked me this. So every single person that I've interviewed thus far, they've all said one important thing. They've all had mentors. Again, it all goes back to mentorship. Like, none of these people did it by themselves. And I think one of the takeaways that you can, take from them is that it's like Tom Bergeron said, because Tom Bergeron's actually one of my mentors. And he told me, he said, Andrea, by the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anyone else's opinion is of you. The only opinion that matters is your own opinion of yourself. So if you can take that with you into your career, you're going to be so far ahead of the game, because you're not having to worry about what it is that they say. And you've got a good head on your shoulders, So it's little things like that, or even just what he said about, your first job in the entertainment industry, that you never get back. It's that first opportunity that you've had that makes you like shine, and you never get that feeling only once.
For sure. Yeah, that's great. That's a great takeaway too. I think that's something I've actually had to work through myself, where I ended up starting my business and listening to the influence and opinions of others. Like I'm sure a lot of us have too, but it's amazing when you reflect back on it and just go like, this is their problems, or this is their things that they wanted, or their unfulfilled career or business or whatever they've wanted to do, not mine. And it really took me a lot of reflection, and like the same as you, having to, meditate nightly and really just sit with myself and just go, what do I actually want? I found that, a big thing for me was actually shiny object syndrome, where I got distracted so easily, where, all these things would be coming up and you'd be just saying yes to everything. And I think now I've really learnt my lesson of where, you really need to focus on what's important to you and what's going to help your business move forward from your values and your point of view. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought up a very valuable point too, because that goes back to when you're actually communicating with people too. Like you want to bring value to them as well. And definitely. I think people forget that when they're communicating to other people. They go into a room and they're like, what can I get out of all of this experience? As opposed to thinking about, what about the other person?
Exactly.
If you don't go in genuine, people aren't going to want to work with you, because, I mean, who by the end of the day wants to hear about someone else? They're going to want to talk about themselves. That's just how it is, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's just something else that I've learned a lot too throughout my years.
Definitely. And as interesting you said that point too, because I think that's why I love interviewing so much. I'll actually thrive on hearing other people's journeys and, you know, what they've gone through. And I think it's such a valuable takeaway that, you know, I've had some feedback where, as I say, probably the same with you, interviewing people. It's so amazing to hear people's stories and, you know, the journeys, and it kind of brings people like down to real life. Like I've interviewed Grant Cardone and some other incredible, amazing people like yourself on here, and you realize that everybody, I know this is true, but, you know, you realize that nobody should be put on a pedestal. Everybody is the same. Everybody's come through their own tough times and roadblocks, and, you know, it's just amazing to be able to share the message of other people with the world. So yeah, that's great there.
Helping each other, right? Like we all have passions, we all have our end goals, and everyone's end goal is different, and you're going to get there no matter what. You don't need to be stepping on other people's toes to get to where you need to be.
Exactly.
So yeah.
That's right. So Andrea, I'd love to know, what would be 3 to 5 actionable tips? Say if somebody's wanting to get into the entertainment industry anywhere in the world, what would be some of the 3 to 5 actionable tips that you think could really help them get into the entertainment industry, or help potentially get them their first job or first break in the career?
Definitely. No, I'm glad you asked that as well. Definitely sit down and ask yourself, the most important thing that you need to ask yourself actually is focus on your passion. What are you passionate about? So for example, there's a lot of people that get into the entertainment industry that say, I want to be a director, or I want to be an actor, actress, whatever it is, right? Yeah, you can say that. That's great. But what sets you apart from every other actor, actress, director, writer, producer, whatever it is out there? You need to sit down and really niche. So if you could figure out specifically, all right, what type of genre do I want to go for? Do I want to work for television or film? If you can narrow those things down, you will be able to figure out specifically what type of mentor you can look for, because you're going to need someone to shadow. That's very important. That's another tip, is shadow. If you can get experience and go out there, 10 times more power to you. And don't be afraid to ask. The worst thing that someone can tell you is no.
Yeah, exactly. That's great advice. And I found that's something really powerful that I've utilized as well. And I encourage a lot of my clients to do the same as well. You know, don't be afraid of people. You know, that's what I was touching on before. Don't put people up on a pedestal just because someone's a CEO of a business, or, you know, someone's a massive actor. Don't be afraid to approach those people. As you said, exactly what you just said. What's the worst they can say to you? No. And then, you know, take it in your strides and move forward and go, okay, what's next? What else can I do? Yeah, I think that's really powerful advice. Thanks, Andrea.
You're welcome. And another thing too, like my class too is online. So everything, if you want to take my class as well, I can further educate you on how to do all of those things as well.
Awesome. And I'll definitely put that link in the show notes for you guys to check out for Andrea's amazing course and classes. So Andrea, I'd love to know, what do you think would be some amazing tips? So say if somebody's currently working in the entertainment industry as an actor, what would be some amazing tips that could actually help them potentially move up to a higher, more important role or bigger role towards what they want to get? Or potentially, which in turn would give them a pay rise in their career? What do you think would be something that could help them leverage themselves? I know you were saying about the power of mentorship, but is there anything else you think could help move them forward?
Oh gosh. What I would say that you should do is that you should work twice as hard as the other person that is there. Because if you can do something, like for example, if you can show value, this all goes back to the value. If you can show value to the company that you're working for, or to someone that works within the company, they're going to be more inclined to help you move forward. And again, it goes back to asking as well. So if you want a pay raise, then you're going to also have to ask. Yeah. But you also have to put the work behind asking as well. That's all important stuff. So yeah, definitely, like, don't be afraid to do any of that.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. Yeah, so true. So very true as well. So, Andrea, I've got a bit of a random question I always ask my guests on my show. It tends to throw a lot of people, but I find it's really powerful. So I utilize solution-focused therapy from my counseling, and there's a question called the miracle question. So imagine if you went to sleep tonight and overnight a miracle had occurred. When you wake up the following morning, everything you ever wanted in your life or in your career had come true. There were no mental roadblocks and no financial difficulties holding you back. What would be something you'd really want to implement in this world, or what impact would you love to make, and who would you like to impact? And why would that be so important to you?
I would honestly want to give some of my time to orphans. Like, I love orphans. I think they are the cutest things ever, and I think that they deserve a chance to shine in this world. And yeah, any type of organization whatsoever to help them kind of learn. If some of them are interested in getting into the entertainment industry, I would totally take my time to teach them what it's all about, and, you know, put them in front of people that they want to get in front of. So that's definitely something that I'd want to do in my near future, and, you know, definitely get a whole team of people to get involved in that as well.
That's awesome. And I think that's so amazing to be able to give back to others who really need the help. And, you know, like a lot of people would feel that they just don't have any help or any support or backing behind them. So to be able to offer those services is incredible. So yeah, that's a great response. I found that I use that with my clients a lot, actually, and it's actually incredible to see what people's ideas they come out of their head. Like it's almost like they've been stewing on this idea, but they don't want to like bring it out to the world. So yeah, it's such a good question.
I mean, you got me.
So Andrea, I'd love to know, what would be the best career advice you reckon you've ever received in your life? It doesn't have to be from a career counselor or anything like that, but what do you think would be the best career advice that you've actually got?
I would have to say building your elephant skin.
Ooh, I like it.
Now, what does that mean? Means learning how to have tough skin, because when you get into any industry, you're going to need to have that tough skin. So definitely. Even if someone, it goes back to everything that we talked about, but you know, you don't know who you're going to come across. So throughout that period of time, if you can just know that what they're saying may not be relevant to, you know, to you per se, but just to what it is that you guys are maybe working on or whatever, don't take it to heart.
Yeah.
But you have to have tough skin.
For sure. I love that. I've never heard that term, but it's yeah, it's really great, and it's so true. You need to be resilient and be able to push through things. So Andrea, so just getting ready to wrap up soon, but what would be obviously we've all got a really important positive trait that's helped us move forward in our life and potentially got us the success we really deserve in our life, but we've also got that hindering habit or that hindering trait that's kind of held us back a little bit. What would be one of your biggest, most positive traits that's helped you achieve your success, and what would be one of the most hindering that you feel has just stopped you achieving that next level?
I would have to say my tenacious attitude is my strength. And then I would have to say, I wouldn't say it's quite a weakness, but it's definitely something that I can improve on, which would be organization.
Yeah.
I tend to get a lot on my plate, and sometimes I don't know how to handle it, but I've learned to manage it in due time. But yeah, no, that's definitely something that I think that I can improve on, and I'd love to master it.
Definitely, yeah. I think a lot of us are guilty of that one. It's actually incredible. Like I've got 2 kids as well, so it's like you try and throw everything into the mix, and you're just like, some days most of the time I find I'm pretty good and I can handle things, but then other days you're just like, oh my god, like it's doing my head in. So yeah.
I feel like you got it down to a T.
Yeah. Thank you. So Andrea, I'd love to know, what would be some parting advice that you'd love to give to my audience that could really help them out, potentially get into the entertainment industry? Because I know myself, I've had a few clients who've actually wanted to be actors, and I've kind of said to them, don't give up on the passion of wanting to be an actor, but obviously just keep something going on the side to keep income flowing in until you get that break, but keep pushing at it. So what would be some parting advice that you feel, say, I've got a client who wanted to break into the entertainment industry. What would be something that you could give away that could really help out?
Well, definitely going back to, sitting down and figuring out that passion. So besides all of that, you definitely want to put 100% focus if you can. If you're able to, step away from work or anything, from working like a 9-to-5 job, that would help you so much because, being an actor or actress in the entertainment industry requires a lot of your time and you have to be free. Yeah. So I would definitely say maybe take a part-time job if you need to sustain yourself. That would definitely be something that I would recommend. But if you have, support, take advantage of that support that you have and put all of your focus and energy on figuring out the little pieces first, because you need to have the whole, the platform of things figured out before you can jump to the next step. So that would be my piece of advice.
Definitely. That's brilliant. And I always remember it stuck with me, a quote from Gary Vee saying, even if you work a 9 to 5, what's stopping you from working that 5 to 9? So, we've all got 24 hours in the day. And I think a lot of people don't realize where they actually waste their time. So watching TV or, doing things that aren't going to help you get closer to your goal. So, I think that's something, especially with acting and, entertainment industry is, putting in those hours. And like you said, because it does take up a lot of time. I think that's, something a lot of people need to really utilize your time more effectively.
Well, and making sacrifices. Like, for example, Donnell Turner is a great example of this. He plays Curtis Ashford on General Hospital. And it's like he said, he didn't have a 9-to-5 job. He did a part-time job and he didn't go out partying. He didn't go out hanging out with friends. He didn't, spend time watching television. He ended up reading books that were super valuable for him. He ended up meditating, working out, focusing on himself. That's the most important thing that a lot of people forget to do is focus on themselves.
Definitely. And no, that's so true. That's great advice. So just touching on that, what would be one of the best books or resources that you've ever read or ever utilized in your life? And how has that helped you?
I would have to say, oh man, this one's tough.
So many.
So many of them. I would have to say it's Between the Artist's Way and also a book that I recommend my students to read as well. It's Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Oh,
so
nice.
Amazing books. So Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, that book really helped me recenter my focus on not being afraid of that rejection. So that's definitely one book that I highly recommend. And then The Artist's Way really helps you focus in on finding yourself. So those two books together, make a whole powerhouse for you.
Awesome. I'll definitely put those links in the show notes. They sound like incredible books. So yeah, be sure to check those out, guys. So Andria, I'd just love to know, where's the best place where anyone in my audience can get in contact with you? Or say if somebody wanted to look into your courses or your training a bit further, where would be the best place to reach out to you?
Yeah, so they can find me on Facebook. It's Andria Schultz, Andria, not EA, because IAs are better. So they can find me on Facebook, and they can either private message me or they can like my page, and I'll reach out to them. So that's that one. And then also www.andriaschultz.com, where you can watch my interviews and get some good tips from professionals behind the scenes.
Awesome. Sounds good. And Andria, thank you so much for agreeing to be on. I've absolutely loved talking to you and the wealth of knowledge that you've got. And I think it's so inspiring what you're doing to help people break into the entertainment industry and what you've achieved yourself. Just I read a bit about your backstory, and I think you should be so proud of yourself for everything you've worked through, and, to be confident and strong in what you do. That's just amazing. So congrats to you.
Thank you so much. No, seriously, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's been such a pleasure. You've asked great questions.
Oh, thank you.
Asked some of these questions, so I'm really happy that I was able to be challenged.
That's good to know. Oh, thank you again, Andrea. I really appreciate your time and keep up the amazing work.
Thank you, and have a great day too.
You too. And guys, stay tuned next week where we've got another inspiring and motivating guest who's really going to help you push through and break through those new levels in your career. So stay tuned then.